Welcome dear students. I am Miss Premal Popat and today we are going to start with a new 10th standard chapter which is heat, and this is a topic from Science and Technology part 1. And in this chapter we are going to proceed with the first module which is latent heat. So let's proceed with the topic. The concepts which will be covered in this topic, that is the chapter heat, are as follows. The first one is the latent heat, followed by regulation, anomalous behavior of water, dew point and humidity, and the last one is specific heat capacity. So today we are going to start with latent heat. From our lower classes, we have studied about heat and we have studied many concepts related to heat. So starting with latent heat, let's just revise few topics related to heat transfer. But what do we understand by this term heat transfer? Heat transfer is nothing but heat moves from one area to another. So there is a movement of heat from one place to another. And there are three types of heat transfers. The first one is the conduction, second one is the convection, and the last one is radiation. What do we understand by conduction? Conduction of heat means a hot object touches a cooler object and heats it. It is also evident from the picture that girl is carrying a hot bag, which helps her to keep her body warm. So this is nothing but conduction of heat when an hot object touches a cooler object and heats it. The second one is convection. What do we understand by this term convection? Hot air moves and heats surrounding cool air. Now we can see a hot air balloon in the picture, right? So this is the hot air balloon, and when it moves, this hot air balloon consists of a bag, as we can see in the picture, right? And this bag is known as an envelope which contains heated air. So when this hot air balloon moves upwards, that is high in the air, it heats the surrounding cool air, and this is nothing but convection. And the last one is the radiation. A fire gives off heat that will warm what is close to it. So there are heat waves, right, traveling through air, which originates from this fire. So what happens is this fire gives off heat that will warm the air or the place close to it. So these three things, that is the conduction, convection and radiation, are the types of heat transfer. Also, what is the difference between heat and temperature? This is very essential, students. We need to understand what exactly is the difference between the heat energy and the temperature. We can see a picture of a gas and a vessel which contains water, okay? And what happens is the heat energy from the stove burner warms up the water. So this stove is on and the heat energy which originates from this stove burns this water. This is nothing but heat or the heat energy. What is temperature on the other hand? The temperature measures the temperature of the water. So this thermometer, as we can see in this picture, which is dipped in the bowl or a vessel, it measures the boiling point or the temperature of this water, and we also use this thermometer to measure our body temperature. So heat is nothing but it warms up another object, and temperature or the thermometer measures the temperature of their object or a liquid. So let us move on with the actual topic, that is the module 1, which is latent heat. To understand this, first we will have to perform an experiment and we will understand the meaning of latent heat as we proceed with the experiment. So here we can see what all things we need. We need a stand, a thermometer which is dipped in a beaker. There are ice cubes or pieces of ice placed inside the beaker, and this whole thing, that is the beaker, is placed on a stand, and below this stand there is a burner. So these all things we need to perform an experiment. Let us understand the procedure. How are we going to move about this experiment? First, take a few glass. The first point is, take a few pieces of ice in a glass beaker as shown in the figure. Then insert the bulb of a thermometer in ice and measure its temperature. So here there is a thermometer which is inserted inside the beaker to measure the temperature of the solution. Put the beaker on a stand and heat the ice using the burner. So here the beaker is placed on a stand and a burner is used to heat this mixture. Record the temperature using the thermometer after every minute. So after every minute we will have to record the temperature of the mixture. Then as the ice is heated, it starts melting. Stir the mixture of ice and water. So as the ice is heated, as the time passes, it starts melting, right? And the ice gets converted into water. And we have to stir the mixture of ice and water. Continue the heating even after ice starts melting. So even if the ice is melting, still we have to continue with the heating. Now we have to stir this mixture because the heat should be evenly spread out throughout the beaker. It should reach all the corners of the beaker. That's why we stir this mixture. So this is the procedure of how are we going to go about this experiment. So we are heating ice to form vapor. So this is the first step. That means we have kept this ice to melt. Okay. Here this is the solid phase. I'll mark it by S. Now after, like when this ice is heated, it turns into water, right? So this is the liquid phase and I'll mark by L. And still when the ice is completely turned into water, then also we heat the mixture. Okay. And later on the mixture, that is the water, turns into the vapor phase, that is the steam. So here there is the change of state of matter, that is from solid phase to liquid phase and from liquid to vapor phase. So let's see what all things, like how this process goes on. So at the start, that is during the solids phase, when the ice is being melted, the temperature of the mixture remains 0 degrees Celsius. Students, keep this in mind that when this ice is melting, that means when this ice is turning into water, the temperature of the mixture remains 0 degrees Celsius till the ice melts completely. That means the temperature is constant. The temperature is 0 degree till the ice melts completely, right? Now when the ice melts completely, what happens? So now this ice is turned into water, that is the liquid phase. But still we continue heating the water, right? So even after conversion of all the ice into water, the temperature of water starts rising and reaches 100 degrees centigrade. So here, over here, this ice is converted into water and still we are heating the water. So but naturally the temperature of the water will increase, right? The temperature will increase and it will reach 100 degrees centigrade. After that, what happens? At this temperature, water starts converting into steam. We know that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade, and after the water has reached 100 degrees centigrade temperature, the water will start converting into steam. This water will convert into steam as evident from the vapor phase. Now the temperature of the water remains constant at 100 degrees centigrade till all the water converts into steam. Like over here also, till all the water converts to steam, the temperature will remain 100 degrees centigrade. So here also the temperature is constant. Like first at the start, when the ice melts completely, the temperature is constant, that is for the solid phase 0 degree centigrade. After that, when the solid phase is converted into liquid phase, the water is heated and the temperature is risen to 100 degree centigrade, right? And at this temperature the water will convert into steam. Now over here also the temperature will remain constant till all the water converts into steam. So this is the procedure, like how the ice is converted to water and then water is converted to vapor. Also on the screen we can see the temperature versus time graph. We will understand about this in the next slide. Let us now first understand the conversion of solid phase to liquid phase. So here we will break this experiment into two parts, where the first one is conversion of solid to liquid phase and the second part is conversion of liquid phase to vapor phase. So step by step we will understand how the change of state of matter goes. So this is the diagram where the ice is converted into water. Here the ice is converted into water completely. And this is the temperature versus time graph. So on the y-axis we can see the degree Celsius, which is the dimensions for the temperature, and time in minutes. Okay. Now here we can see two lines. This one is the line AB. I am just drawing a curvy line so you all can understand. So this is AB and the whole thing is BC. So first we will understand about this line AB. So line AB represents conversion of ice into water. So this line is representing the conversion of solid phase to liquid phase. Okay, that is the conversion of ice into water at constant temperature. So here the constant temperature is nothing but 0 degree centigrade. Okay. So here the constant temperature is 0 degree centigrade and the line AB represents conversion of ice into water at 0 degree centigrade. So how this thing goes? Ice is converted to water. So when ice is heated, it melts. So but natural, when ice is being heated, it will melt at constant 0 degree centigrade and converts into water at this constant temperature. So over here the ice is converted into water at constant temperature. This constant temperature at which the ice converts into water is called the melting point of ice. Now students, this constant temperature, that is the 0 degree centigrade, is known as the melting point of ice. So at this point the ice melts into water and hence it is known as the melting point of ice. Thus, during transition of solid phase to liquid phase, that is conversion of ice to water, the object absorbs heat energy but its temperature doesn't decrease. What do we understand by this? Now this burner is supplying heat energy. Here H I am writing as heat energy. Now this burner is supplying heat energy to ice, right? But the temperature is not increasing over here. So what happens to that heat energy? The burner supplies heat energy to the ice, but the ice is getting melted but its temperature doesn't increase. So what happens to the heat energy? This energy is utilized for weakening the bonds between the atoms. Now here we can see a solid, like how the atoms in the solid are in a very compact form, they are very close. So the molecules in the solid are very close to each other, right? It is evident from the picture. Now this heat energy is utilized for weakening the bonds between the atoms or molecules in the solid, and hence it is transformed it into a liquid form. So here we can see in the liquid phase, like there is space between the atoms, right? Usually the molecules and the atoms in the liquid are a bit away from each other. They are not so compact as compared to solid. So this energy is utilized to weaken the bonds in the solid phase, and hence the molecules drift apart in the liquid form. So here this heat energy is utilized and the temperature doesn't rise. Okay. Now the heat energy absorbed at constant temperature. Over here the temperature is 0 degree centigrade, right, when the ice converts to water. So this is the constant temperature. So the heat energy is absorbed at constant temperature during the transformation of solid into liquid phase, and this is known as the latent heat of fusion. Okay. For conversion of solid phase to liquid phase, the heat energy which is absorbed at constant temperature is known as the latent heat of fusion and generally denoted by Q. Okay, so this is the conversion of solid phase to liquid phase. Now the second part, that is the conversion of liquid phase to vapor phase. So here also we can see that the liquid phase is been converted into vapor phase. Now similarly we can see the graph of temperature versus time, temperature in degree centigrade and time in minutes. Now we are concerned with this BC, the conversion of liquid to gaseous or vapor state. So here there is conversion of water to vapor. Now this line BC in the graph represents rise in temperature of water from 0 degree to 100 degree centigrade. Now over here, that is, this BC represents the rise in temperature of water from 0 to 100 degree centigrade. Over here in the graph we can see that how the temperature is rising from B to C, okay, in some time. So now once all the ice is transformed into water, the temperature of the water starts rising. It increases up to 100 degree centigrade. So once when the ice is transformed into water, we still supply heat, and due to this heat the temperature starts rising, okay, and the temperature reaches to 100 degrees Celsius. Thereafter, even though heat energy is supplied to water, its temperature does not rise. Now when the temperature of the water reaches to 100 degrees centigrade, still we are supplying the heat energy. The water has reached 100 degrees centigrade, but still we are supplying the heat energy, but the temperature doesn't rise. The temperature remains constant at 100 degrees centigrade. So again, this heat energy is absorbed by the water at this temperature and used to break the bonds between molecules of the liquid phase and convert the liquid into gaseous state. So over here in the picture we can see that this heat energy is absorbed by the molecules of the liquid phase, okay, and then it is used to break the bonds between the molecules and convert it into gaseous state. Like gaseous state, in gaseous state or the vapor state, we can see that molecules are still away from each other even more as compared to the liquid state. So thus during transformation from liquid phase to gas phase, heat energy is absorbed by the liquid, right? We are supplying the heat energy even when the water reaches 100 degrees centigrade. So over here this heat energy is absorbed by the molecules, and this heat energy is used to break the bonds of the liquid phase, and that is why they are getting converted into gaseous phase. But here the temperature doesn't rise. The temperature is constant, that is 100 degrees centigrade. So the constant temperature at which the liquid transformed into gaseous state is called the boiling point of the liquid. So this 100 degrees centigrade, that is the constant temperature at which the liquid transforms into the gaseous state, is known as the boiling point of the liquid. Okay. And similarly, the heat energy absorbed at constant temperature during transformation of liquid into gas. So the heat energy was absorbed, right, when the liquid phase was transformed into gaseous phase, and this heat energy is known as latent heat of vaporization. So this was all about conversion of liquid phase to vapor phase. Now let us define the specific latent heat of fusion which we have studied in the first phase, that is the conversion of ice to water. Now this is nothing but the amount of heat energy absorbed at constant temperature by unit mass of a solid to convert it into liquid phase. That is, from solid phase to liquid phase, the amount of heat energy absorbed at constant temperature by molecules or unit mass. This is known as specific latent heat of fusion. Now what is specific latent heat of vaporization? It is the amount of heat energy absorbed at constant temperature. Now this happens at 100 degrees centigrade, and this latent heat of fusion was at 0 degree centigrade. Okay, 0 degree Celsius, and this is at 100 degree Celsius. This we have to keep in mind, students. Then the concept will go much easier. So this is nothing but specific latent heat of vaporization, when the amount of heat energy is absorbed by unit mass of a liquid to convert into gaseous phase. Different substances have different melting points and boiling points. Like the melting points and boiling points of the substances depends upon the what object or what thing we are using. So the values of melting point, boiling point and latent heat depend on atmospheric pressure. So over here there are various substances: water or ice, copper, ethyl alcohol, gold, silver, lead, and here there are melting points and boiling points given. This is also in your textbook. If you want, you can refer your textbook. And here there is specific latent heat of fusion, which is measured in kilojoules per kg and calorie per gram. And there is specific latent heat of vaporization. There is a question for you all based on the topic. Is the concept of latent heat applicable during transformation of gaseous phase to liquid phase and from liquid phase to solid phase? Where does the latent heat go during these transformations? Now in the previous slides, for the latent heat, we studied that there is a change in the phase of matter from solid to liquid and from liquid to gas. So what is happening from solid to liquid? The object melts and gets the liquid form, and from liquid form, that is when the liquid is boiled, over here boiling takes place, and that is why it is converted into gas. During this transformation, during this melting and boiling, heat is absorbed. Yes, right. We have studied in the previous slides that the heat is absorbed, and that is why the solid form of the object is converted to liquid form, and the liquid form of the object is converted to the gaseous form. So now from going from solid to liquid and to gas, the heat is absorbed. But over here the question is, we are going from which phase? We are going in the reverse form, that is from gaseous to liquid phase and from liquid phase to solid phase. So during this case, what will happen? Now, if I want to convert from gaseous form to which form? To liquid form. The object has to be condensed. Now the object is in gaseous form, that is the steam form. Now when this, suppose we take an example of water. So water in steam form, it is the water vapor. So when this water vapor is condensed, that means when the water vapor is converted into water droplets, we get the liquid form. That means the water vapor will have to condense, and that is why it will get the liquid form. And this liquid form we have to convert it into solid form. So basically we'll have to freeze. We'll have to freeze the water, and that is how it will get the solid form. So over here, when we are moving from gas phase to liquid phase, the water vapor will have to condense. Condensation will take place, and when we are moving from liquid phase to solid phase, freezing will have to take place. So over here the heat is released. Due to the heat released, that is the heat liberated, the gaseous form is able to take the liquid and the liquid form is able to take the solid form. So this is nothing but the how the water vapor is converted into liquid and solid form. So over here the heat will have to be released for the conversion of water vapor or any other object to liquid and solid form. So what is latent heat? Latent heat is nothing but heat is absorbed or liberated. So heat can be absorbed or else it can be liberated at a constant temperature during a phase change of a matter. So this was all about latent heat, students. And in the next module we will be continuing with the same chapter. Thank you so much, students, for your attention.